So Hare Krishna and welcome everyone to our course overview of Gita. Today is our 59th class, which is a workshop on the 16th and the 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We have spent 2 classes on chapter 16 and 2 classes on chapter 17. And this particular session that we are doing is kind of a revision of these 2 chapters in a form of a quiz that has been issued to all the participants. And many of you have very kindly also submitted the responses. So I'll go through the responses soon and give you the feedback. And let us start with Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurau Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guruna Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Okay, so let us start the discussion on our quiz. The devotees may want to unmute when they are responding or participating in the discussion. Otherwise, I would say if you are not speaking, request to keep yourself on mute. So the first question was on fearlessness, and the question was, why should a person in the renounced order of life be fearless? Because he should tell others about the qualities of fearlessness, because fearlessness helps him to be austere, because one must have firm faith that Paramatma will give all protection, and because Krishna likes the quality of fearlessness. So what do you think is the right answer?
The answer number 3, because one must have firm faith that Paramatma will give all protection.
Very good, Prabhuji. That is the correct answer. Correct. Would you like to elaborate a little bit on that? Do you recall in what context we discussed this particular quality of fearlessness?
This was related to the Shraddha and the Vishwas on the which we need to have on the Paramatma.
No, this is coming from chapter 16, first verse.
Correct.
Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhir. So the very first quality is Abhayam. So do you recall how we discussed all these 3 verses? In what fashion we discussed these 3 verses? There was a specific way we discussed these 3 verses.
The first verse was important for a Brahmana, for a sannyasi. It is for different orders of life.
Yeah.
And second for Grahastha and third for Brahmachari.
Right, correct. So so the 4 varnas and the 4 ashramas.
4 varnas, yeah.
So what the way our acharyas have commented on this verse is mainly there are total how many qualities mentioned in this verse? How many
26,
qualities?
26.
Yes, 26 qualities have been mentioned.
26.
And Prabhupada and previous acharyas have described these 26 qualities, keeping the 4 varnas and the 4 ashramas in their mind. So this particular quality of fearlessness or abhayam is mainly for people in renounced order of life, sannyasi.
Sannyasi, yeah.
Yeah. So sannyasi should be absolutely fearless, because he, unless he is fearless, he cannot maintain the sanctity of the ashrama that he is at the moment following, the sannyas ashram. So he has to be really fearless, has to really fully depend upon the Paramatma to give full protection, right? So the correct answer for this is, because one must have firm faith that Paramatma will give all protection. Okay. So okay. Oh, the correct answer is already displayed here. Charity should be given to the dash person. Charity should be given to the right person. So what does it mean by right person? How will you explain charity should be given to the right person? What is the definition of right person? Any answers?
Because the charity should be used for the right purpose, especially for the benefit of I would say propagating Krishna consciousness or something. So it has to be done with the in the mode of goodness and be handed to the right people or the right trust or whatever, the right persons.
Yeah. So
Qualify.
yes, correct. So Prabhupada
They
writes.
should be chanting the holy name.
Yes, Prabhuji. So the
They
household.
should be chanting.
Yeah. So for
Please
whom?
carry on, Prabhu.
Yeah, for whom this particular quality has been recommended by Prabhupada? Charity.
Grihastha.
Householders. Yeah. So why for householders? Why for householders?
Because they do their work and earn. Yeah.
Because they, yes, but okay. So what will charity will do for a householder who works and earn? Why it is for a householder? Okay, he works and earns, that is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But what will charity do to the householder? Because householder, actually, if you see the four sections of these or 4 ashramas, brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha and sannyas, only all the other 3 ashramas, which is brahmachari and vanaprastha and sannyas, they are all dependent upon only one ashram, which is grihastha ashram. In grihastha ashram only, the person or the people have this activity of earning, accumulating wealth, uh, developing property, creating property and all that thing. So for a householder, because he is engaged in earning wealth, uh, creating property and doing all these, accumulating all these material things, the householder can easily become attached to all these things. So if the householder engages in the activity of charity on a regular basis, what happens is that the householder develops this habit of renouncing the material wealth that he's accumulating throughout his ashrama. So when he has that habit of renouncing his wealth, it becomes easier for him to move to the next ashram, which is the vanaprastha ashram. So he constantly remind himself that uh, actually this all these material wealth, these what he's accumulating actually is ultimately this is temporary. Ultimately the permanent purpose of his life is mainly to develop love for the Lord, and he should not develop unnecessary attachment to all these accumulated wealth and money, property, and so on. So that is why charity is very, very specifically important for a householder. Yeah. Okay, so let us move to the next one. Ahimsa. So what is the real ahimsa? This one is a little bit tricky, this question. Not killing any living entity, not checking anyone's progressive life, being calm and quiet, and the fourth option is all of the above. What is the answer?
Is B the correct answer? B.
B is the correct answer. So Prabhu, can you explain why A is not the correct answer in this case? Why did you not tick on A as the correct answer?
I'm not immediately able to. I was just reading. I'm not able to immediately. Like I was going to the purport of Prabhupada explanations for that. I'm not immediately able to recollect.
Okay. See, ahimsa means what? Generally, people will say that if you give harm to others, and killing is what more harm can you do to others than killing? So certainly not killing any living entity is ahimsa, no doubt about it. But the question actually is a little bit deeper. Question is, what is real ahimsa? It is asking for a more deeper and a more encompassing definition of ahimsa. So that is why there are these four options are there: not killing any living entity, not checking anyone's progressive life. Now, what is meant by not checking anyone's progressive life?
That is also a part of ahimsa.
Yeah, but
not only killing animals.
Yeah, that is part of ahimsa.
Suppose you give some trouble to somebody to do something, that is also a part of this thing. It's also causing some sort of a trouble or ahimsa. Create some harm or something like that. So that is the general thing which should be applicable here.
So what is mentioned in option number A, not killing any living entity, actually that particular thought or that particular aspect is already covered in option B, which is not checking anyone's progressive life. So when we kill a living entity, or for example an animal, the animal has to once again take the birth in the same animal body to complete the real the karmic cycle, because he has been given a animalistic body to suffer the fruits of to suffer the karmic reaction of his previous life. So he has to live to a particular duration in that animal body. But if we kill that animal prematurely, before the animal actually can complete that karmic cycle, the animal once again has to take birth in an animal body and complete that karmic cycle. So killing an animal actually is checking the progressive life. So what is mentioned in item A here is already covered in item B. But at the same time, we should also understand that item B actually gives a real deep meaning of ahimsa, real ahimsa. For example, if we are putting any obstruction in anyone's life by disturbing them in their sadhana, in their bhakti process, in their, I would say, spiritual pursuit towards God, that is also ahimsa. That is also, sorry, that is also himsa. And we are creating trouble to other person in achieving their love for God or attending transcendence. So that is also himsa. So real ahimsa is not checking anyone's progressive life. So people who are engaged in God conscious activities, spiritual pursuits, uh, we should actually favor them or support them in their activities so that they can easily move towards their life. If we are uh, hurting other people with harsh words, we are creating disturbance for them, and it may create some kind of a feeling in their mind that all these godly people are really nonsense people. We should not actually associate with them. So as devotees, we should be very, very careful. So with our behavior also, we can create some kind of ahimsa. If we don't behave properly in the society, it is actually one kind of ahimsa that we are doing to others, because so people in society look towards devotees as they carefully watch their behavior, how they are doing, how they are behaving. And if we by our own behavior uh, uh, create some kind of a mistrust among other people, that is something like also ahimsa, which is checking their progressive life. Otherwise, if we are doing good behavior, we can actually attract other people towards devotional life, towards life of spirituality. So that is also, you can say, in a subtle way, uh, we are doing himsa if we are not behaving properly. So I'm giving you some extremes. One extreme is even with our bad behavior we can create himsa, or by killing an animal also we can create himsa. But the more encompassing definition of ahimsa is not checking anyone's progressive life, who is moving towards the final objective, attaining the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So that is actually real ahimsa. Okay. Is that answer clear? Was that difficult?
But Prabhu, why other also qualities also fall in that, correct? Like being calm and quiet, not killing anything. I understand point number B has more stress,
Hmm.
but why not point number 1, 3, and 4 also fall in that category? 1 and 3,
Yeah, because
like those are
yeah,
also
the
okay.
question
Or
was
real ahimsa.
the
Real
question
Oh,
was
okay.
designed as
Actually,
real.
action B covers that also.
Yeah, the aspect C is also covered in this B.
Okay, okay, okay,
Being
okay.
calm and quiet. Being calm and quiet actually is kind of indicating about good behavior, or you can say like that. So
Yeah,
uh,
self-control or something.
self control or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So the question was, what is real ahimsa?
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Real
Got it, got it.
ahimsa. So
Mhm.
real ahimsa, it is asking mainly a more broader underlying definition of ahimsa, and that's what Prabhupada is mentioning here. Not arresting the progressive life of any living entity. Yeah.
Okay, clear, clear.
And as I mentioned, as devotees, if we don't behave well in the society, we don't हमारा आचरण अगर अच्छा नहीं होगा, तो people will see toward us as that these people are simply just chanting Hare Krishna, just dancing and just giving lectures and all that, and they actually don't mean what they are saying. So if we do that kind of a behavior among people, people may not get attracted towards the Lord. So but that is the ultimate aim of the life, to for a person to get attracted towards the Lord and actually starts its spiritual journey, isn't it? So as devotees, if we don't behave well, that is also in one way doing himsa, unknowingly or whatever. Yeah.
Prabhu, I want to add one more thing here.
Yes, Prabhuji.
I want to add one more thing here, Prabhu.
Yes.
Actually, I have heard in the sacrifice, according to scriptures, they used to offer the goat as a sacrifice for the, for the fire god, and then that was not considered, because according to scripture, even though the goat was given as an offer, he will have the next life as a human being, as a better thing. That is the sort of thing which is being told. I just wanted to share my view on that.
Yes, Prabhu. But one thing we should understand on that part is that whenever such offering of animals was done in the previous times in the Vedic literature, the mention is there that sacrifice of animal would be done as per the Vedic literature. But at that time, the chanting of the Vedic mantras, the purity of the Brahmanas, and all those aspects for doing that sacrifice were also very important. So, but in today's time and age, we don't find qualified Brahmanas to chant these Vedic mantras very accurately, so that the result of such such rituals or such sacrifices are doubtful. So, in this present age and time, the sacrifice that is best mentioned for us to follow is chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Exactly.
That is the best.
Quite true, bro. Quite true.
So we should not, so we should not really advertise that, okay, if we sacrifice some animal in a Vedic literature, in a Vedic ritual as per the Vedic injunctions, the next life of that animal would be a higher birth. That was certainly was the conception in the previous times, but not in the present times.
Not in today's, not in the Kali Yuga. Yeah,
not in the Kali Yuga.
Exactly.
So today the main sacrifice that we are supposed to perform is the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, that or chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Yeah. Okay. The fourth question is Arjuna's fighting demoniac? Why Arjuna's fight against the Kauravas is not considered as demoniac? Because he was considering the pros and cons, because he was considering whether respectable persons like Bhishma or Drona should be killed or not, because he was not acting under the influence of anger, false prestige, or harshness, and D, all of the above.
All of the above, Prabhu.
All of the above.
Yes, Prabhuji. So Parsarthi Prabhu, would you like to explain to the group why you chose all of the above?
Because he has very cautiously taken up the decision to fight. Actually, pros and cons, these are very actual things what one should think. It is one. Secondly, holy persons like Bhishma, Drona, they are all gurus, acharyas. Even killing them also, he thought several times before acting. That is one thing. That is, think before you leap, some people used to say.
Yeah.
Before acting, he thought, let's say that his attitude was well within Sattvic range.
Correct.
So the action is coming under that lust group, but his thinking and every full attitude was in Sattvic. That's why all the
Correct. So it is not that whenever we have to fight, it is always going to be in the mode of I would say if we have to fight, always it is going to be in the mode of passion or ignorance. The fighting can also be in the mode of goodness. For example, if there is some person who is aggressing on our property, or maybe some person we are walking on the street is trying to molest a lady or doing some kind of a nonsensical behavior. So in that situation also, in such situation, if we give a due consideration, proper consideration, we may have to sometimes have to take some actions where we have to either engage in fight with someone, or like maybe the soldiers engage in fight with war with maybe another country and like that. So after proper consideration, after giving a lot of deliberation to some subject, this subject of fighting, if this decision is taken, it is not considered as demoniac. So Lord Krishna was telling to Arjuna that don't worry, you are not demon, you are actually a divine personality. So in 16.5, that's what Arjuna is saying, and that's what Srila Prabhupada is mentioning in his purport, that Arjuna was not demoniac, and he is giving these answers and reasons why he cannot be considered as demoniac. So the right answer in this case is all of the above. So thank you, very good. And now demoniac conclusions. What are demoniac conclusions about creation? So this was not a objective type question or a multiple choice question. So would like to hear from the views of the group. What are demoniac conclusions about creation?
One, world is without any foundation. There is no God, godless.
World is
brought forth by mutual union of male and female, and hence conceived, etc. like that. Conceived in lust.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
these are demoniac.
yeah. So these are
No,
demonic.
no
Yes,
difference between spirit and so matter.
correct, correct,
Yeah.
correct,
And
And
the
they,
demonic people do not accept supreme spirit.
and
correct.
they don't believe in
Everything is
scriptures.
matter only.
Yes, yes. Mataji is saying something. Sita Mataji is saying something.
They don't believe in scriptures.
They don't believe
They
in
reject.
scriptures. Correct,
Yes, definitely.
correct. Actually, that is the fundamental.
The whole
That is the whole problem. They don't believe in scriptures because only from scriptures they will understand about God. And when they understand about God, they will understand that creation is actually coming from God. And when they understand creation is coming from God and all other rules and regulations of scriptures, then all these demoniac conclusions are not there. But fundamentally, if they don't follow scriptures, if they don't understand scriptures, if they don't have any faith in scriptures, these demoniac conclusions are there. So I would like to know, in your experience, do you find these people, such kind of people around you? And uh, who are these people? Can you explain it to me? Do you find these kind of people around you?
Plenty. In Africa, they are killing. Africa, Afghanistan, they're killing people. Actually, the Taliban and all, no, we indiscriminately they kill. In Africa, never, daily deaths of killing.
Okay.
And so many, in the faith, in the name of faith, they are killing others. These are all demonic. That is present today to an appreciable quality.
Yeah.
And then color also, color bar, what you call it as, we can see that whites in America, they fight with the blacks, and these are all animosity created. These are all coming under demonic.
Correct. But okay, not about, okay, you were mentioning about people from Africa or Afghanistan. I'm simply asking, maybe people around you could be your colleagues or your maybe even family members, or uh, simply your friends, or people whom you associate on a daily basis, maybe your grocery store wala or your milkman and things like that. So if you start checking about people's opinions and beliefs about which their God who created all this around you, you will find several opinions. So from that perspective, do you think these demoniac conclusions are available around you? Have you find such people? If you
No, in fact, I have come across quite a few people who are educated, sophisticated, and they believe so much in science that they may not disbelieve in God, but they believe in a philosophy which is contradictory to God and our philosophy.
Correct.
They'll say everything we can do, we can go to moon, everything is only material, the world has evolved. The whatever theories, they are physicist theories. There are many people like that.
Correct.
Particularly if you go to West and all, you'll find many. And there are many westernized Indians also who follow this kind of thinking.
Correct.
Also,
yes, Prabhuji.
To interfere. Now we can see there are many government offices, services provided to the public, and the public approve, the servants, they think that it is their mercy to serve the people. But for this they take bribe and all. So they don't because poor people also may come. Mercilessly they take bribe.
Yeah.
That is rampant in modern India also.
Correct.
That
Correct.
Demonic. They don't cut near elder or poor. That is not the question. You pay. But they have been appointed by the government for the service of the public. They say it is their concern, but it's not. Mahatma Gandhi said they should feel actually happy that people could come and they could serve the people. That should be the attitude. But it is otherwise. They think as though they're public servant paid by the government, they have to serve the people. But their attitude is that as though for a pocket free consideration, they think like that.
Yes,
so this
Prabhuji, yes.
place in my life also.
Yeah. So in fact, if you see the whole education system that we have today in West, in East, wherever you go, in the education system, what they teach you about creation? How did the creation happen? What do they teach?
Talk about Darwin's theory.
Sex intercourse at the
The concept of creation is that they teach uh,
started from a
Big
single
Bang,
cell.
Big Bang,
Big
Darwin
Bang,
theory,
Big Bang theory,
Simply the result.
or Darwin's theory,
Darwin theory.
that all the living entities actually the humans came from monkeys and so on, like. So
Yeah.
so what are these theories? These are actually demoniac theories. These are demoniac conclusions. So you can see the example of all these theories around you, very close to you. Your child who might be going to a school actually is reading a demoniac theory, and when he grows or she grows, uh, it will be difficult time for you to explain to your child that the creation actually happened because of God. Because when the child goes to the school, their brains are very impressionable, and whatever they learn at that age in the school, they actually believe in those things really well, really deep. And if you start debating with them or discussing with them, uh, you find that they say that no, Darwin's theory says we came from monkeys. So that is what how the world actually is dealing with all these things. So largely the society outside follows and believes in demoniac conclusions about creation. So uh, now the answer is, the demonic view is that there is no creator. The creation takes place through chance and action and reaction. uh, it has no cause other than lust. It is ultimately unreal, like a dream. So these are demoniac conclusions about creation. Hmm. And okay, now moving to the next one. Demoniac tendencies. Analyze the demoniac tendencies of modern civilization. So these are four verses together. We need to analyze them and summarize them in this question. What are the demoniac tendencies of modern civilization? So you can connect with the previous one we just now discussed, that they don't believe in scriptures, they don't believe in God. And when they don't believe in scriptures and don't believe in God, what happens? What is the mindset that they start to cultivate?
They engage in unbeneficial and horrible works, cruelty to animals, human beings, no nuclear weapons, all these
Correct.
things.
Yeah, but what is the underlying thought behind all these things? Killing of
They,
animals, nuclear
they won't,
weapons.
Prabhu, they won't feel the pain of others,
Hmm.
distress of others. They
Hmm.
will not realize it.
Hmm.
Only when it comes to them, they will feel the pain.
Hmm.
If someone suffers, they won't take pity or they won't assist or whatsoever. There won't be a good reaction to that.
Yeah, but why are they not afraid of other sufferings? Why are they not afraid of other sufferings?
That is blindly. There are many blind followers are blind for self benefit. Even nowadays in political parties, they do it like that. Very
Yeah.
blindly.
No, that is correct, Prabhu. But what is the underlying reason they are blind, or they don't consider other sufferings? Why are they not?
Because they Prabhu,
Yes, Sita ji. Yes, Sita ji.
yes, because they enjoy doing it. And they get they draw enjoyment from doing that, from harassing others, or from doing all the demonic things.
Yeah.
And they feel pride, and they get they feel proud about it.
Mm-hmm.
And they find they feel very that they achieve something
Yeah.
by doing that.
That is okay.
Yeah,
But I
Prabhuji, I
think
have an answer.
they think they are
The
only the
demonic
God.
tendency, the
Yes.
demonic tendency is they don't differentiate between matter and spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Correct.
main thing is they think they're right.
So they do.
material attraction possibly.
Yeah, I think Venkoba Prabhu was saying something.
Yeah, Prabhuji, as per me, I find the reason as one is poverty, second is lack of awareness or exposure to the scriptures.
Yeah, correct. Okay, that you are correct. Lack of scriptures. But what in scriptures mention that they don't kill animals? What in the scriptures is telling them? What is that particular feature in the scriptures that motivate them not to kill animals, or not to be insensitive to other sufferings?
I
What is
think
that?
they think they are the only God. Actually, they don't believe in God, and they think they are only the God.
Okay, actually, I'm looking for a specific answer. I mean, the answers that you are giving is generally correct, but they don't believe in law of karma in general. So since they don't believe in law of karma, they are insensitive to other suffering. They don't think that they have to repay. उनको उनको कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता, उनको लगता है कि they don't have to repay, they don't have to suffer for whatever they are doing in the next life, because they don't believe in next life. They simply think that if they can evade government, if they can evade the law of the nation, if they can evade or make fool of the judiciary, they are done with it. They don't think that there is any other law or any other higher power actually observing them, and they can do all kind of nonsense and just done away with. If they have power, if they can purchase government servants, if they can do all kind of nonsense, uh, uh, they are okay. So, but the person who believes in God, or a divine who believes in God, he understands that the divine actually have made a law of karma, and if they do nonsense, they have to pay for it either in this life or maybe in next life, and by default automatically his actions, his tendencies are checked. So that's what it is. Okay, any other answers? We were giving killing of animals, nuclear weapons, all these things we were telling. What more?
Hare Krishna. In my opinion, in one line,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm permitted to say,
Yes, Prabhu.
because they think they're right.
Yeah.
And they think it is their right, and nothing else can be done against them. They're
Correct.
all prevailing, they're all powerful, they're all everything.
Mm-hmm.
So they can do what they like, and this is their right.
Okay.
This
They
is
And
think
they
they are
engage
God.
in this one,
Thank
all
you.
the regulative principles, 4 regulative principles.
Uh-huh.
They engage in meat eating, intoxication, gambling, and illicit sex. That is the tendency, demonic tendency.
Okay. Yeah. I think Vidya Mataji was saying something. Vidyaji was saying something.
Prabhu,
No, I wasn't saying
Okay.
anything at this
Okay.
point.
Okay, Mataji. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
can I,
Yes.
can I add up, Prabhu?
Mm-hmm.
That some people of other faith, they think these animals, everything have been provided,
Mm-hmm.
especially for their food. They say God, they are eating. They say, they also will say, don't do harm, don't kill and all. At the same time, they take fish and goat, etc. They say that it is God has provided for their food. That the attitude is by many places.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is the attitude of the people.
Okay. So let us see what is the answer that I have compiled for this. So my answer is modern civilization is based on sense gratification. Now, because these people don't have any understanding of soul and body, like Jivan Radha Govind Prabhu was mentioning, they don't believe in any spiritual progress or in any spiritual life. They simply think that this life is mainly for enjoyment, and their definition of enjoyment is coming from mainly three things: wealth, acquire as much as you can, wealth, money, properties, bank balance, and like that. Intoxication is wine and all that. And sex means attracting the opposite sex, and have all these kind of enjoyment, because they don't believe in soul, they don't believe in next life, they don't believe in transcendence. So they think that enjoy, live life king size, uh, be merry and do good, and enjoy to the best possible extent. That is why the whole tendency of the demoniac people is based on sense gratification. And uh, for because they are believing on sense gratification, they think that that is the actual purpose of life. They are willing to work very hard, earn a lot of money even by illegal means. Simply they think that if they can evade the government, if they can evade the law of the land, uh, they are they are happy. Nobody is going to check on what they are doing. They don't recognize any supreme controller. They feel free to do anything for sense enjoyment, and they are proud, arrogant. They manipulate material nature according to their whims. They concoct their own system of religion, which ultimately is aimed towards increasing sense gratification. So they don't have any definite faith on scriptures, they have their own rules, they have their own societies, they have their own way of living. And in this way, they glide down to hell ultimately, because they are forgetful that there are higher laws which are working on them. There is supreme controller who is observing as Paramatma situated in their heart. Their every action, every second, it is being observed. It is like a CCTV camera always on your head. Everything is being recorded. So they might think that there is no CCTV camera, but the moment they take birth in this material world, the CCTV camera is every time on with them, and every action is being watched. And unless and until these kind of people move towards God, move towards scriptural based living, there's a problem waiting in their next life. So for sure, as per Bhagavad Gita, yes. Demoniac thinking. How does a demoniac person think? I am very wealthy today and I will increase it more in the future. I am perfect, powerful, and have connections with powerful people. I'm in full control of my destiny. All of the above.
All of the above.
All of the above. Very
All
right.
of the above. All
Correct.
of the above.
So this kind of godless thinking, godless living actually develops these kind of thinking, that people are always very, very much confident of their plans, their wealth, and they think that they are the only doers, and there is no other agency who is acting in their life, and that's how they develop this kind of a thinking. So all of the above. Describe the consequences of demoniac disposition. What happens if a person is demoniac in thinking?
They may take birth to other demonic wombs.
Demonic.
Again,
correct.
so
they are by
there
their
is only one place for them, hell.
Hell, correct. So they are creating their future life by their actions in this life. And so do devotees also create their future life by their actions in this life. But for devotees, for divine people, much better prospects are awaiting them in their future life. But for demoniac, there's no other place, like Kartarji is mentioning, other than hell. So after that, one is put again and again into the womb of demons. Gradually, after many such births, one is cast into bodies of cats, dogs, and hogs. That is where their destination is. 3 gates to hell. What are the 3 gates to hell? How can one overcome these 3 tendencies?
Kama, Krodha, and Lobha.
Kam, Krodh, and Lobha. Lust, anger, greed. Lust, anger, greed. L-A-G.
Yeah.
L-A-G. Lust, anger, greed. And how can one overcome these 3 tendencies?
Unless you under scriptures, one should study scriptures.
One should
Listen.
study.
There was some ABCD.
Yeah.
Company of good people, and listening religious discourses. All this will add up to, and that is how one can escape from this.
Correct, correct. You are right, Prabhu. Lust, anger, and greed are the 3 gates to hell. When one's lust is unsatisfied, one becomes angry and greedy. And in this way, one gradually glides down to hell. And Parsarthi Prabhu mentions very correctly that ABCD actually in nutshell is the sutra that we actually try to give to people, that associate with devotees, read scriptures, books, chant the holy name, and diet, offer food to the Lord before taking it as prasad. And there are 4 don'ts: no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, and no illicit sex. So we continuously follow these things in our life. So actually, at least if we follow this, we are saved from hell. Maybe we don't go back to Godhead ultimately, immediately, but at least we are saved from hell.
In my opinion,
yes, Prabhuji.
Simran, Seva, Satsang, Santosh.
Simran, Seva, Satsang, Santosh. Yes. So we agree on first 3 with you fully. The Santosh part that you mentioned, actually the ultimate objective is the love of God. So Santosh is I would say a byproduct of attaining love for God. If a person who has love for God in the heart will automatically be satisfied. So a devotee does not have to work towards santosh. He should actually work for love for God. So that is our little difference of I would say ultimate goal, or the final philosophy, or the understanding of the ultimate philosophy.
Thank you. Thank you, Guruji.
What can't be attained by discarding the spiritual injunctions? Perfection, happiness, supreme destination, all of the above.
All of the above, Prabhu.
Yes.
All
All
of them.
of the above.
Correct. So when we follow scriptural injunctions, we can get perfection, we can get happiness, we can get supreme destination. All of the above. Correct. Then change one's nature. Now we are moving to chapter number 17. Can one change one's nature to a higher mode from passion to goodness, and how?
It can be possible.
Okay, how do you say, Prabhuji? What do you need to do?
By having a bona fide guru and just following his advices, one can correct himself, and thereby he can change it.
Correct.
Actually,
And what does Guru teaches you? What does Guru teaches us?
With the basis of scriptures and all, pros and cons he will every time he will explain.
Yes,
and
correct.
Guru also himself might have got experience. He might have experience.
Correct.
So he will caution us in future. Be careful like this.
Correct.
Secondly, a mirror shows who we are, just physical form it shows, but our character, movement, etc. There are people who will not think on that, but the other people can think what is fault and all. So Guru will be bona fide and very honestly, sincerely tell.
Correct.
That is,
you are right, Prabhuji. So yes, we can change our nature to a higher mode. For example, if at the moment we are living mainly in mode of passion or mode of ignorance, we can move towards mode of goodness, or reduce the impact of mode of passion and ignorance by following scriptural injunctions. So by following the rules of scriptures, we can change our nature. We can mold our life in such a way which is according to scriptures, and hence we can move from lower modes to higher modes. And this is what we can do in the association of devotees, or like as Prabhu mentioned, if we have a bona fide spiritual master who can teach us the scriptures, who can teach us about the nuances of scriptures, like what we are doing in this class. So in this class, we are following the scripture which is known as Bhagavad Gita, and we are understanding this scripture, how Srila Prabhupada, Vaishnavacharya coming in the Vaishnav Parampara, is actually making us understand how to understand the each verses and all that. So we are trying to understand with the help of a bona fide spiritual master like Srila Prabhupada, what is this Bhagavad Gita is actually meaning for us, and uh, and how we can do it. The formula that we give is A, B, C, D, and 4 don'ts: association, books, chanting, diet, and the 4 don'ts that we always recommend. So if we do this, we can change our nature from lower modes to higher modes, come to the mode of goodness, and ultimately to pure goodness. Develop own faith. How does a living entity develop his own faith? 17.3 purport.
when he comes in contact with material nature, with that he develops his own faith and all.
Okay, any other answer?
Both A and B.
Both A and B. Actually,
both A and B.
Yeah. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada has mentioned both the reasons. When he becomes forgetful of his relationship with the Lord, and when he comes in contact with material nature, and that is where he develops his own faith. He doesn't believe in the Lord, and the modes that are acting on him makes him develop his own faith. So the correct answer here is C, which is both A and B. Correct. Worship in modes. Worship in three modes. Those in the mode of dash worship and create gods.
Passion.
Passion. B.
Mode of passion, right?
Passion.
So the people in mode of passion, they actually worship whom? They worship Yakshas and Rakshasas. The Yakshas and the demons.
Demigods.
No, demigods worshippers are mode of goodness.
Goodness.
I'm sorry. Very sorry. Goodness.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So those who are in passion, they actually worship Yakshas and Rakshasas. Yakshas and Rakshasas. But Srila Prabhupada also give an example here that in Calcutta, when there was World War II, a person started worshipping Hitler because of Second World War. There was lot of problem in the market, and this person, because of black market, generated lot of wealth for himself. So he ultimately thought that this world war is happening mainly because of Hitler, and I'm becoming rich because of Hitler. So he started worshipping Hitler. So this kind of a worship is worship in mode of passion. And many times you will also see a lot of people worshipping politicians. Something like in a mood of bootlicking. They would worship politicians. You would see many times in Tamil Nadu, big politicians are worshipped. People actually offer arti to them, offer nariyal agarbatti to them. So this kind of worship is in the mode of passion.
Film stars also they worship, Prabhu.
Sorry, Prabhuji?
Film star, artist.
Film star, yes. I heard there was a temple for Amitabh Bachchan in some place in India. There is Amitabh Bachchan, they worship Amitabh Bachchan. Sometimes they worship Tendulkar, Sachin Tendulkar also. And they and you can even see how they call Sachin Tendulkar. They say they god of cricket, or isn't it? They call him god of cricket, and they start worshipping him. So all this worship is in mode of passion. No use. Correct answer is passion. Impersonalist worship, yes. So impersonalists are in the mode of dash.
Goodness.
Yes. Prabhupada mentioned in this purport of 17th chapter 5th verse that impersonalists actually they are worshippers of 5 demigods. And which are those 5 demigods?
Shiva, Ganapati, Ganapati, Shiva, and
Panchopasana. Durga, Shakti, correct? Shakti, yes. Shakti, Shaurya, Surya, Sun, correct. And the 5th one is Vishnu, correct. So it starts from Shakti, Shaktas, then Saurya, which is worshipper of sun. The third one is Ganapatyas, Ganesh. The 4th one is Lord Shiva, and the 5th one is Lord Vishnu. So we studied in our classes how these are progressive, how Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given progressive understanding of God using these symbols of Panchopasana, starting from Shakti and so on. So the correct answer here is the impersonalists actually are in mode of goodness. Yeah. What is, by the way, the difference between impersonalists and personalists?
Personalists, those who worship Krishna, they are personalists.
Okay.
Impersonalists, they worship Ganapatya.
They don't believe in the form of
they don't believe in the form. Like we pray to deities.
So we in ISKCON, do we believe in form or no form?
Form.
Yes,
Krishna.
we believe in
form.
You believe in form.
We believe in deity worship.
Yeah. Is God
so we
form?
Believe in form.
Is God having a form or not, or formless?
We believe in form. Krishna with the particular picturization. We believe and we worship him.
Okay. Anyone?
Because God is formless.
Yeah. But is there any other answer to that? Is that a any other detail somebody would like to add?
So he's Nirgun Nirakar.
Okay.
Indefinite.
The question, please.
Okay. Okay. That is Kartar Tauji's understanding. But our understanding, Vaishnava understanding is yes.
Vaishnava understanding is Krishna is God is a person, loving person, is to be loved, the personal attributes and love of the person.
But is God with form or without form?
With form. He has a form, and he has a form which is a transcendental form. It is not a material form, and we believe in a God with a form.
Okay. So I would like to make a correction here, because I heard all the answers. So the Vaishnava understanding is not that God is not formless. That is not Vaishnava's understanding. Vaishnava understanding is God is both with form and without form. So like we have studied in our other classes, Bhagwan, Paramatma and Brahman. So Bhagwan means full attributes of Lord. Paramatma is that which is situated in everyone's heart. And the Brahman aspect is actually the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. So Srimad Bhagavatam mentions that there is no difference between Bhagwan, Paramatma and Brahman. However, we understand that the formless comes from the form. It is not that we don't say that God is only having a form and formlessness is not there. What we are saying is God has form and form. God is both with form and formless, but the formless aspect of God comes from the form aspect of God. So the absolute truth that we say, the ultimate definition of God, is actually with form, but the formless aspect of God comes from the form. However, the impersonalists say that God is the absolute truth is formless. So that is the main difference. So is that clear? Is that clear to the class?
Thank you. Thank you. Hi.
I would ask
Prabhu,
Vasudevan
Prabhu,
Prabhu.
I have one doubt.
Yes, Jivan Prabhu. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu,
Yes.
impersonal is in the mode of goodness, is it not all of the above? How only goodness you are, associating? I'm not able to. I thought it is all the above. Can they not fall back to passion and ignorance?
Actually, they are worshipping demigods, and that's why they are saying they are being said to be in the mode of goodness. So even mode of
Prabhu,
goodness.
I would like to read.
Yes, Prabhuji.
I would like to read Prabhupada's purport here. Whether I have not understood it properly, you can clarify me.
Yeah.
The impersonalists are supposed to be situated in the mode of goodness, and they worship 5 kinds of demigods. They worship the impersonal Vishnu form in the material world, which is known as philosophized Vishnu.
Correct.
Vishnu is the expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but the impersonalists, because they do not ultimately believe in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, imagine that the Vishnu form is just another aspect of impersonal Brahman.
Correct.
Similarly, they imagine that Lord Brahma is the impersonal form in the mode of passion.
Correct.
So I thought that they sometimes describe the kinds of God that are worshipable, but because they think that the actual truth is impersonal Brahman, they dispose of all worshipable objects at the ultimate end.
No, I understood your point, and we discussed this in the class also, where I was mentioning about goodness, passion, and goodness, ignorance. So even the demigod worship, largely it is in goodness, but these goodness can have shade of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So do you understand that point? For example, like in animals, we say a cow is an animal in the mode of goodness. But generally we understand that actually animal body is because of mode of ignorance. So cow is also actually in mode of ignorance. And then we say that maybe monkey is in the mode of passion, and maybe a jackal is in mode of ignorance. So what we understand from this example is that even in animal body, generally the animal body is in mode of ignorance, but within that ignorance, cow is an animal which is having a little bit more goodness compared to monkey. Monkey is having passion and the jackal is having ignorance. So within the particular modes there can be various shades. So in the impersonalist worship, if they are worshipping, for example, Lord Brahma, they can have goodness, passion. For example, they are worshipping Lord Shiva, it can be goodness, ignorance, like that.
Another thing, Prabhu.
Yes.
Another thing, Prabhu, we could see, though they are in worshipping impersonally in good mode, they slaughter animals sometimes. They self-torture, they do it. These are all.
Yeah, that is worship in mode of ignorance, or that is worship in mode of ignorance. That is, we will discuss a little while in a little while. Yeah. But I would like to ask Vasudevan Prabhu that clarification on formless and form. Is that?
Yes.
Yes.
That is absolutely clear. Yes.
Yeah. So we are not saying that God is not formless. God is
not
both
formless. Correct.
God is
Correct.
both
Understood.
form, with form and without form.
Without form. Yes.
But the form is the ultimate description of the absolute truth. The formless aspect comes from the form and not the other way around.
Correct. Right. Understood.
Yeah.
Prabhu, another point, Prabhu, I want to add.
Yeah.
For Arjuna during the war, Krishna Vishwarupa, he shows to Arjuna. That means there is a form for him.
Yeah, the Vishwarupa form, or some people understand God as Vishwarup form. So these are something like people who are worshipping nature worshippers, or you can say the Shaktas, the material nature worshippers, like what we discussed just now, a short while ago. The Panchopasana, the Shakta worshippers, they are compared similarly to the worshipper of the universal forms. Yeah, where they think that yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
I had to make 2 comments. I read somewhere our great Srila Prabhupada, he said cow is not animal. Somebody asked who is the best animal in the world. So yeah. he was expecting buffalo, but he said no, cow. He said buffalo. But then the questioner asked, why not the cow? He says cow is not an animal. Cow is a mata.
Yeah.
So
cow has been
between.
Yeah, cow has been given that there are 7 mothers that is mentioned in our scriptures. Cow is also given the status of a mother because we drink the milk of the cow for our bodily growth. So certainly, yes, in that light, cow has been considered as a mother also. You're right, Prabhuji. Yes. So let us move to the next one.
Thank you.
The scriptures recommend fasting for dash.
Spiritual advancement.
Correct. Right. So all these people who sit on satyagraha for, like, there are many farmers sitting these days for meeting their demands. That is not a recommended scriptural way of fasting. This is simply a tool for their political agenda, isn't it?
Correct. Anna Hazare was fasting in Delhi.
Yeah. So that is. Yeah.
So these are political motivated.
These are political motivated. Don't think that there is going to be any spiritual benefit for all these fastings. So the correct answer is spiritual advancement. You're right. Food in modes. Which of the following food is in mode of goodness? Should be an easy one. Number C, right. So I will not
purify one's existence.
Purify one's existence, give strength, health, and happiness. Yeah. So food is a very, very important topic in spiritual life. And the reason mainly is because what you eat, you become. So people who are careful about their food for health reason, certainly that is very much appreciated. But spiritualists are careful about their food mainly because of their spiritual advancement. Some people say that, okay, onion and garlic, they have a lot of good medicinal qualities. They are antiseptic, and many good things are there in onion and garlic. But for spiritualists, those food which develop divine qualities, or which develop qualities in the mode of goodness, they are need to be mainly given more preference, and the other foods have to be rejected or avoided for people who are moving on spiritual path. Yeah. So the correct answer
is
yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. बोलिए.
जैसा अन्न वैसा मन.
जैसा खाएंगे अन्न वैसा बनेगा मन. बहुत बढ़िया. धन्यवाद. हाँ जी सर. So purify one's existence, give strength, health, and happiness is the right answer for this. Austerity of speech. Explain the 5 requirements of austerity of speech as per Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita.
Words not offending others.
Correct.
Truthful.
Correct.
Agreeable.
Beneficial.
Pleasing.
pleasing for others,
not
beneficial,
agitating to others,
not
and
agitating to others,
reference to Vedic scriptures.
and reference to the Vedic
reference to
scriptures.
Vedic scripture.
Wonderful, wonderful, very nice. It is an austerity. It is not easy to do all these 5 things. Not very easy. That is why this is known as austerity. Actually, I shared one lecture on the WhatsApp group between a discussion between Chaitanya Charan Prabhu and His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj. And I know our Dr. Ishwar Prabhu from Rohtak have already listened to that lecture and gave a very elaborate feedback on that lecture. Are there any other devotees who have heard that lecture? Heard that discussion?
Would you mind sending it, Prabhu?
Yes,
Because
Prabhu.
we have-
Me too.
Actually, you
Me
were
too.
referring in the last class also.
Huh.
You were referring that about the last class also about the Bhakti Rasamrus Maharaj and in
Yeah.
somebody's context. Somebody, when we had the interaction,
Yeah.
at that time you were referring that. I am not.
First of all, yeah, I would really appreciate actually Dr. Ishwar's patience in listening to these lectures that I'm sending. They are generally long audio lectures, sometimes 80 minutes, 90 minutes. But this one, I would really urge and request the class to listen. The discussion between Chaitanya Charan
Very
Prabhu
good. Very good.
and His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj on how to present spiritual topics sensitively, and in that topic they have elaborately analyzed this austerity of speech. What does it mean actually to speak properly? And it's a very nice lecture. I would send it once again on the WhatsApp group, and I would request all the devotees to listen to this lecture. Find time specifically to listen to these 90 minute lecture and understand what does austerity of speech actually means. So it's very nice.
We will do it, Prabhu. Kindly
Hare
send.
Krishna.
We will do it, Prabhu. We will.
Actually, एक बार पढ़ने से once reading you don't understand much. You need to have read 2-3 times.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that lecture has been
We will do that.
presented very nice. That discussion has been presented very nicely. Okay. Charity given for intoxication and gambling is in the mode of
Ignorance.
ignorance. So giving, and what are the example of okay, intoxication and gambling? Already the examples are there. So these are in the mode of ignorance. Correct answer is ignorance. Om Tat Sat. Okay, coming to the highly philosophical question of this 17th chapter. Om Tat Sat. Explain the words Om Tat Sat. Okay. How will you explain that? I did not purposefully made a multiple choice question about it. I made it a subjective answer type question so that I can listen to the views of all the participants. What understanding have you developed about this concept of Om Tat Sat as it comes in this Bhagavad Gita chapter 17?
Om denotes Supreme Lord.
Om denotes Supreme Lord. Okay.
Of any Vedic chanting, we start with Om.
All these things refer to Supreme Lord. Point number 1.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah. Okay. Om represents Supreme Lord. What kind of a name of Supreme Lord is this?
It is a secondary name.
It's a secondary name, right? It is telling that Om. We actually also mentioned about Omni, Amin, Amen from other religions also. So Omni means all pervasive. Om is actually all pervasive. And how is Krishna connected with Om? How is Lord Krishna connected with Om?
We consider Krishna to be the Almighty, the first God. So
does Krishna relate himself with Om in Bhagavad Gita somewhere?
Is it
this chapter?
Yes. This number of
non-personal
chapter
name?
7 and up.
Yes, Sita ji, you were saying?
Non-personal name of the Absolute Truth?
It's a non-personal name of the Absolute Truth. And in Bhagavad Gita, at least in 3 places, Lord Krishna says that I am actually Om.
Yeah, you have given reference.
Yeah.
I am Om. Right?
In chapter 7.8,
Chapter
9.17, and
correct.
10.25.
Correct. So 3 places he says that I am Om. But Om, Krishna is very personal name of the Lord, but Om is a very non-personal name of the Lord. For example, we say that head of the department for XYZ engineering, isn't it? Or the dean of a particular university. So like that, this is something like a referring to the Lord as a in a very non-personal way. And any other examples of non-personal names of Lord?
Narayana.
No,
Narayan.
Narayan is a very personal name.
Paramatma.
Narayan is a personal
Person
Paramatma.
name.
name.
Paramatma, yes.
Jagat,
Bhagavan,
Jagat Prabhu,
Bhagwan.
Bhagavan.
Yeah.
Bhagavan, Jagat
Bhagavan,
Pita, Param
Jagat
Pita,
Prabhu. Yeah.
Param Pita,
Ishwar,
Param Pita.
Parmeshwar,
Ish,
Parmeshwar.
Ishwar,
Yes, yes. Ishwar, correct.
Jagannath.
Jagannath is more of a personal name.
Okay.
We can, because it is specifically to a one specific deity of the Lord. So Jagannath becomes a very personal name there. But Jagat Pita, Parmeshwar, Jagadish, Param Pita,
Vidhata,
Parmeshwar, Vidhata, that is
Brahmanda Nayak.
Parabrahma, Param Brahm,
Parabrahma.
yeah, like that. These are non-personal names. Okay, what more? So what does Om Tat Sat means? What does Tat means? Tat?
Eternal. Eternal. That
Eternal.
one
That
exists always.
one.
No,
Sati is eternal.
That
Tat, Sat is eternal. Tat means what? Tat means
that
Sati
you
means
are. That
Tate Tvam Asi. Tate Tvam Asi.
Tattvam Asi. Okay, Tattvam Asi means what?
that you
Universal.
are.
Sorry,
That you are.
Universal.
Tattvam Asi means that. So the word Tat
That
means
you are.
that, and that you are. Tattvam Asi, that you are. And the underlying meaning of is this, that you are the cause of everything.
Yeah.
You are the cause of everything. So that is meant by Tat. This is the Vedic, it is from Chandogya Upanishad. And Sat means
That is the eternal.
Sat means eternal. Sat means eternal.
Yeah.
So actually, Om Tat Sat is referring to the supreme absolute truth, to the Lord, referring to the Lord in a very general way, referring to the Lord in a very general way. So answer now is the words Om Tat Sat are a symbolic representation of absolute truth. Okay, and the word Om is an indication of the supreme. The word Tat means that. The word Sat means eternal, and they are used by Brahmanas, starting with Lord Brahma, while chanting Vedic hymns and during sacrifices for the satisfaction of the Supreme. So that is ultimately it means Om Tat Sat, and ultimately the main message of chapter 17, which is actually further underscoring the meaning of the word, or the meaning of the words Om Tat Sat, will be captured in this particular question. What is the main message of chapter 17 of the Gita?
Perform sacrifice, charity, austerity in the mode of goodness with faith in Supreme.
But with faith in Supreme.
But with faith in Supreme.
If you don't do it with faith in Supreme, even the performance of sacrifice, charity, austerity in mode of goodness is a
Waste.
waste. Is a waste. So unless and until, and that is what the meaning of Om Tat Sat is. So you do sacrifice, charity, austerity in the mode of goodness. So chapter 17 tells you what are the different type of austerities, yajna, dan, and tapa in various modes. The yajna, dan, tapa in mode of passion, in mode of ignorance, these are yajna, dan, tapa these are not according to the scriptures. These are not according to the scriptures. Yajna, dan, tapa according in the mode of goodness is according to the scriptures. And even if yajna, dan, tapa according to the scriptures we perform, but if these yajna, dan, tapa are performed without having faith in the Supreme, although they are based on scriptures, but without faith in Supreme, they are simply a waste. And that is what the main message of chapter 17 of Bhagavad Gita is. So that is why Lord in the 16th chapter tells you the two extremes, what are the demoniac and the divine. In the 17th chapter, the Lord starts with the bottommost extreme, which is the demoniac, which is mentioned in verse number 4th and 5th. and then gradually he tells about what is non-scriptural faith. Specifically, he mentions about faith in mode of passion, faith in mode of ignorance, which is non-scriptural faith. Then he tells scriptural faith, which is in mode of goodness. And then after connecting the faith in mode of goodness, or sacrifice, austerity and charity in mode of goodness, ultimately to Om Tat Sat, he says that now if it is done in faith with Supreme, it becomes proper, it becomes Sat, it becomes eternal, it becomes permanent. And that is the main message of chapter number 17 of Gita. I hope the meaning of Om Tat Sat is more clear to everyone now. Manish ji, you were mentioning about Om Tat Sat in the beginning.
Yes,
that
yes,
you
yes.
would like to discuss.
Yeah.
So is that
No,
clear?
it is yeah, very clear now based on whatever all our devotees and you explained. Yeah.
Okay. So now we move to our case study. Uh, uh, it's a small case study which I want to do in this class. Maybe it might take me 10 minutes, but it's a very important case study which I would like to do. And many times people ask this question. I have received some similar question specifically from Dr. Ishwar, uncle from Rohtak. And uh, now I would like to take this particular topic in this class specifically because we have discussed about worship in different modes, and we have discussed about faith in different modes. We have discussed about charity in different modes. So the question, a case study or this group discussion that we want to have, many people say that service to man is service to God, or in other words, is Manav Seva same as Madhav Seva? So what is the opinion of people in the group? Is it same? Is it different? And if it is different, which one is higher? Which one is lower? And how can we explain what is what? So any opinions?
Yeah,
Prabhuji,
this
like we always
Okay,
hear that.
let us do it one by
Sorry.
one. Manish ji, you can start with.
Yeah, so typically we always hear Jana Seva hi Ishwar Seva hai, that kind of words, and it has been also said by many of our saints earlier. But what I understand, when you had explained in Gita, I think chapter 15, 16, somewhere, that we all are same. So one example you gave, that brother fighting with brother, something in one of the lectures. So even if we serve a human being with respect or with whatever what you have, if you try to share, maybe it is equivalent to doing a good kind of a seva. But whether it is same as Madhav Seva or Ishwar Seva, that still maybe it is same as that. That is what I understand. But in one of the lecture of the Holiness Bhakti Rasamrit Swami, I think, which you had shared, he had also mentioned this as the opposite. Madhav Sena hi Manav Seva hai. Something he had explained earlier.
Okay.
I cannot recall. But
Okay.
my takeaway would be both, means in that case. But
There
I'd
is
like
a
to
saying,
Yes.
Prabhu,
Yes.
there is a saying, the hands which is helping others is better than the hand which is with folded hands doing namaskar, they say. The hands are provided for helping others.
Yeah, yeah.
That's, secondly, by setting example, we've got to pay on the name of God when we help. Even others who forgot God, are merciless, they will come in they may follow our good path if it is. That is my idea. We'll set an example by helping them.
Okay.
So we will attract more people to serve them. Thereby the society will be helped. We'll have two-folded benefit. One, God's benefit.
Okay. Is Madhav Seva same as Manav Seva? Are both same, or is there any difference?
There is a difference. My opinion is
Which one you like best?
One second.
Yes, Prabhuji.
I have a different opinion than
Which one is the
Mr.
best?
Manish or Parsarthi Prabhu.
Yes. Yes, Prabhuji. Please
Can I
tell.
continue, Prabhuji?
Yes, please. Yes, yes.
So my understanding, whether it is right or wrong, you have to tell me. My understanding is, what is the spirit of the service? When you are doing the service that with a spirit that God has given me this money, God has given me this facility to share with others without humility, without expecting anything in return, without expecting any favors. I think in chapter 7 also he says in Satvika mode, then that is service to what you call, that is as ordained by scriptures, and that is in a sense service to God, where you see that it is God's property, I am distributing to God's people.
Yeah.
And not attribute any what do you call, agency to yourself. It is just that you happen to be. So in a way, you see God in everybody, and the God's wealth you are sharing with other atmas, so to say.
Okay. So in
That
nutshell,
is-
if I may summarize Vasudevan Prabhu's response, Vasudevan Prabhu is saying, once we do Madhav Seva, once we engage in spiritual activities, actually it encourages us to do Manav Seva. Is that correct, Prabhu? Have I summarized your response well?
yeah, correct. It is when you are going to Madhav Seva, when you're in the spirit of Krishna consciousness, then it is this Manav Seva is also a service to Krishna. It is no longer you're serving a poor man, and you are not also taking the agency for serving. Then
Okay.
it becomes into
Now-
Rajoguna if you're expecting
Okay.
something.
Yeah. So now I'll ask Vasudevan Prabhu a counter question. So what happens when a person who is a spiritualist, for example, you can take our example only, like the Vaishnavas, when we are, for example, chanting, we are doing elaborate worship in the temple, we are not doing directly any Manav Seva. So
No, I'll just add one thing.
yeah.
So this service to self is not the same as Madhav Seva, because
Okay.
this service is not giving you spiritual progress, like a chanting or a Ekadashi fasting or something that's you spiritual. So this Seva, while it's a good service, it does not give you spiritual progress or in that spiritual journey. So spiritual journey, you have to do ABCD, as they say, as it was mentioned earlier in the class.
Yeah.
So this is not same as Madhav Seva, but the spirit of service can be in Satvika Gun, where you say you don't attribute agency, you do it as a matter of God has provided you to share, provided to you to share.
Okay. So now the
Prabhu.
response, just a minute, Prabhuji, just a minute, Partharthi Prabhu. Now Vasudevan Prabhu, what he has mentioned is that there could be some aspect of Madhav Seva which may not be exactly Manav Seva. Correct, Prabhuji? Right?
Correct.
And
Correct.
these and but there could be some aspect of Madhav Seva which can be same as Manav Seva or service to human.
Absolutely right. You summarized it very well, Prabhuji.
Okay. So so what we can say is Manav Seva same as Madhav Seva? If we are talking in the strict sense of the sentence, then maybe the answer is no. Every time Manav Seva may not be same as Madhav Seva. And what are those? What are can you give some example when Manav Seva may not be same as Madhav Seva?
This is a Manav Seva even for everyone, even by disbelievers. At least for them also will save. So in that
Correct.
count, it will not be as Madhav Seva.
So
Those
yes.
who believe if we do it, that is
Yeah.
Madhav Seva.
Yeah.
There is one
So
more point, Prabhuji, here. Sorry. The point is this. Many places they say Bhagavan Manisha Rupene. See, what if one is in distress, Bhagavan doesn't come and straightway do it. But though intention of the God is there, only through in the form of man, the assistance he gets. Many of them waited Bhagavan Manisha Rupena. In some scriptures I read like that.
yeah.
Secondly, Prabhu,
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
these Veda Vyasa and big rishis and all, they were born as a human being and they opened the minds of the people. They brought us in the faith.
No,
So these are
Prabhuji, we are not going to rishis and human beings coming as God. Not that. We are. So I would request that let us not make the topic too wide. I would say that you mentioned about or
Manisha.
there was a point mentioned about by you which said that many times disbelievers can also do Manav Seva. Disbelievers means atheists who don't believe in God. They can also feed hungry. They can also distribute medicine to the sick people. They can also develop homes for shelterless. So the point is, there can be examples where Manav Seva may not be same as Madhav Seva, isn't it?
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes,
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
To my mind, seva to the all creations of the God is the real seva, Madhav Seva.
Okay.
In which comes humans and non-humans.
Yeah. So
both.
in your opinion, when a spiritualist or when a person who is practicing spirituality is doing chanting and he is doing deity worship, he is actually doing all his sandhya arti, morning arti, and all that thing. So is that okay or not?
It's very much okay.
Is very much okay. So is that part of Madhav Seva? What part this kind of practices play in Madhav Seva?
It's a tricky question. It is a part of Madhav Seva.
But what part does it play?
It comes in Madhav Seva.
This
It's
yeah.
Please say.
This purely comes as Madhav Seva, right? Because we are not directly serving humanity through these practices. We are not directly serving the humanity. But what is the benefit of all these practices?
I think
Spiritual uplift.
Yes.
To my mind, sir, please.
Yes.
It's your karma that should be the main concern. What kind of karma are you doing for humanity, for self, and for lower animals, everything?
Okay.
Karma in a proper order, karma in goodness, karma should be towards divinity, and that partakes, I think, everything. If your karma is fine, then everything is fine. We shouldn't go beyond that.
That is okay. But many times we see that if we help poor people, for example, we go to a slum area, we help poor people. We give them food, maybe we give them some money, we give them some, for example, education. So do you think that is sufficient enough?
I think that is a right step towards making progress towards God. God wants us to do that. Okay. Everybody should be doing that.
Okay. But is that enough?
Ultimately the same.
Yeah, but
Our
is that enough?
Should be on right karma, sir.
No. Karma, just a minute, Parsarthiji. Just a minute. Let me have a discussion with Dr. Ishwar. You are right. But my point is, giving food, giving money, and giving, for example, education, or maybe go a little bit more, giving them reservation or maybe giving them jobs, is that sufficient enough?
Well, because the humans, we have created so many subsections in helping people. Some of them are correct, others may be politically motivated. We cannot cover all these things.
No, we are doing it. We are doing it with good intentions. You assume that we are doing it with good intentions.
I think if your intentions are good in helping people, the needy people, I think that adds marks to your progress towards God, and God will certainly be happy.
Certainly, our progress is there. The person who is doing this, his progress is there. But I'm asking from the point of recipient. Is that donation or is that service to humanity? Which I would say that, let us take an example. An atheist who doesn't believe in God is going to a slum area and doing all these kind of help and facility for these people who are poor. They are giving money, they are giving food, they are even giving education to these people. Now my question is it sufficient enough?
It's a good karma given, even if he doesn't believe in God, at least he believes in goodness.
Yeah. That's fine. We agree.
Ethics, goodness,
agree.
Good behavior, all these things are plus points.
No, my question is, my question is this enough? So you need to focus on this question. Is this enough?
Prabhuji, but he gives the basic needs to first. Spirituality will come afterwards. Person
Mataji,
will need first food,
Mataji,
clothing, and all.
that is fine. That is fine. We are not denying on that. We are not saying that we should not do that. Even Madhav Sevaks, like we are Madhav Sevaks, we should not do that. I'm not saying that. My question is, please focus on my question. Is this enough?
Prabhu, no, sir.
Okay. Why?
This is not enough. This is not enough.
Why?
You want me to answer?
Please.
No, there is a very small story. Once a sadhu was taking shower.
Prabhuji, I would request in the interest of time, just try to be brief.
It will be very brief. So then somebody came and he asked for that lota. He was being taking shower. So the lota was on the ground. So he hit that lota and gave to him. So his assistant said, "Why didn't you told me, or you picked up and gave him?" He says, "No, maybe if I have thought of that, and my idea would have changed." He know I'm taking the shower, snan with lota, but maybe his need is more than me. That's why I do not take the time and just give to him. But what he does out, then another day he came and he said that he was doing potty in the jungle and he was using that lota for that. He says, "Listen, that's not my problem. My problem was he needed it, and my mind says somebody is asking me and I need it, but he still is asking me, so I gave him." Now what he does with it is not under my control, and I did not give it with any conditions.
Prabhuji, come to the bottom line. Come to the bottom line. Yeah. What is the bottom line?
Bottom line is, once you do seva, you should not put conditions.
No. See,
do seva unconditional.
Just a minute, Prabhuji. Just a minute. I'll. Okay.
Sorry.
No. Wait. My question is, atheist has given to humanity food, money, job, education. I'm asking.
Can I?
Yeah, please, Mamta Mataji.
Prabhuji, when an atheist gives, there is some ego. He feels he is giving. When
okay,
believers give, it is God. We are giving in service. We are not taking credit for what we are giving. It is Krishna's prasad.
Okay. I understood. Let us now study this point as I have presented it, and let me come to all these points. So request everyone to go on mute, please. I will have 2-3 slides to present on this topic. Request everyone. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, now I have understood all the views. More or less we are there. We have understood all the conclusions, more or less everyone. But there are 1 or 2 points that I would like to mention, and kindly pay attention to the presentation. And let me say. Now, first of all, let us define what is Manav Seva and what is Madhav Seva. What is purely Manav Seva and what is purely Madhav Seva, and then let us build on that discussion later on. Pure Manav Seva examples are food to hungry, medicine to the diseased, home to shelterless, orphanages, old age homes, etc. Even atheists can do this kind of service. Atheists, many times we find that they do this kind of service. There is an organization whose name is God Send Disaster, We Send Relief. So this is an atheist organization who is engaging in all kind of relief work for people at large, and they do this kind of service to humanity. There is their vision, or their people who are of atheistic view of mind. They say that there is no need for temples, there is no need for worship, and at the same time their philosophy is that Manav Seva is highest good. Just feed the poor, just take care of their material needs, and then you are done with it. So these kind of people who are pure Manav Seva people, they can be atheist, and their philosophy is that Manav Seva is highest good. Now on the contrast, who are pure Madhav Sevaists? Let us look at the second point. So the pure Madhav Seva examples are, for example, chanting of the holy names. In ISKCON, in our Vaishnava culture, we highly recommend that people do chanting of holy names dedicatedly. They take out some time, 1 hour, 2 hour in their daily routine to chant the holy name of the Lord. They do deity worship. They cook the food and offer the food to the deity of the Lord. as bhoga, and then after 10-15 minutes take that food and eat that as prasad. So all these examples of, for example, chanting, reading his scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, and so on, or deity worship, or eating sanctified food like Krishna Prasad, these are pure examples of Madhav Seva. And uh, many times people, examples of Madhav Sevas are people like, for example, Bhajananandis or Avadhuts. And these people are Bhajananandis or Avadhuts. These are those people, those spiritualists who doesn't care about society at all. They have no connection with the society. They don't care whether somebody is dying hungry, they are simply engaged in their own bhajan. They are very much absorbed, deeply absorbed, too much dedicated towards their absorption or their dedication and devotion towards the Supreme Lord. Now, these are two different extremes, which is pure Madhav Seva and pure Manav Seva. Now, let us look at what are the limitations of Manav Seva. Limitations of Manav Seva are, they are only limited to the material body. They are only limited to the material body. For example, if I am giving food to somebody, if I am giving medicine to somebody, if I am giving maybe, for example, job to somebody, or those kind of things, they are simply limited to the material body. Maybe they might be extended towards, maybe to some extent, maybe towards their mind. They might give them some relief for some time. So maybe some mental peace might also be there. But what it does not do, what does Manav Seva in general does not do, is it does not raise the consciousness of people in general. When I say raise the consciousness of people in general, what does it mean? People may be in mode of passion, people may be in mode of ignorance, and simply feeding people, feeding the hungry, giving medicine to the sick may cure their hunger for the time being, may cure their disease for the time being. But all these remedies will not raise the consciousness of people in general. And I'll give you two examples. One example is uh, people who are very much wealthy, because many times we say that people in the world, they are starving, and there are many wealthy people who are not taking care of these people who are starving. Now the question is, why, when there is so much money in some section of the society, and there is some starvation problem of hunger in another section of the society, why one section of the society which is very much gifted, which very much affluent, is not taking care of the other people who are actually deprived of these benefits? The problem, the basic problem is greed. Because the wealthy who are full of opulence, they are very greedy. They are not willing to extend their helping hand to people who are starving or who are sick in other parts of their society. And an example, I would like to quote one book. The name of this book is Food First. This book is a very well researched book by this lady. Her name is Frances Moore Lappe. And this lady has done very extensive study on cases of famine in African countries. And what she have found in this book is that whenever there was a case of famine in some country of Africa, it was mainly not there. It was not that there was shortage of food or there was shortage of wealth in that particular boundaries of that country. It was mainly because people, because of their political motives, they did not want that food from one state should move to the other state, because if that would happen, then that would actually create some political advantage for some other party. Or people, because of black marketing, because of their greed, actually did not want the food to go in these places at a certain price, because that is going to create some loss for these people. So it was not because of shortage of food. Most of the time it has been found that when these situation of hunger, famine are existing in the societies, they are mainly because of the one uh, big reason, that is mainly because of the greed of the wealthy. So this is one big problem of consciousness. This is not a material problem, this is a problem of consciousness. And the second problem, why the second problem is sense control among the needy. So there are two sections. One is the wealthy and the another one is the needy. The problem in the wealthy is they are greedy, but the problem with the needy is that they don't have sense control. And what do I mean by sense control? I would like to quickly illustrate with the help of a story. I have been forwarding you many times this story or articles by Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, who is one of the leading preachers in our ISKCON society. So this story comes from Chaitanya Charan Prabhu's life. Chaitanya Charan Prabhu is a electronics and communication engineer by his training. And while he was studying in his engineering college, in his school days, in his college days, he was thinking that how I can help the people in the slums at the backyard of my engineering college. So he decided, with the help of a friend, he started to go to these slums and started offering education to these people. His friend actually went one step ahead. He started to also encourage people in that slums, specifically the fathers, that not to drink alcohol. Because what happened was, when they would offer education to these people, these children in the slums, the fathers actually will beat these children out of intoxicant, because they have drink some wine. And then they started to educate these people that you should not drink wine. And they were actually partially successful also. For 2.5 years they did all that, and the people in that slum started leaving wine, and they did not drink any alcohol. But one fine day, what happened was, there were elections in that community, and the local politician brought 2 truckload of wine for distributing in order to gain votes. And when he did that, uh, both Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, his friend, they found that not only the fathers started drinking that alcohol, also the children started drinking that alcohol. And then they started to think, specifically Chaitanya Charan Prabhu started to think very deeply, actually, what is that compelled these people to succumb to lower tendencies in their mind. And that is the point, is that although the greed is a problem in the wealthy, sense control is the problem among the needy. Even if in your experience, in my experience also, uh, uh, my grandfather would be a very charitable person. He would go to the temple, he would distribute blankets in the season of winter to the needy. And every time he would do that, he would tell me, many times he would tell me that these people, when they are given blankets, they would sell these blankets in the market, and out of that money they will either drink wine or they will smoke bidis. That's what they will do. So the point is, the manav seva limitation is, it does not raise the consciousness of people in general. And that is, this limitation of manav seva is addressed by madhav seva. Madhav seva means, uh, this is the value that Madhav Seva adds. Madhav Seva means chanting the holy names, association of devotees, reading Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, and all those things. So when we do Madhav Seva, when we do deity worship, when we do all these activities that we have been recommending to you in our classes, what happens is purification of the heart. Purification of heart means, I have summarized this as a acronym, LAGPI. LAGPI means lust, anger, greed, pride, illusion, envy. So LAGPI goes away, or LAGPI, the volume of LAGPI in our consciousness continues to reduce. The volume comes to go down. I'll give you 2 more examples for that. How does it happen? Once Mother Teresa, I think Mother Teresa has won some Nobel Peace Prize and all those for humanitarian work. Once this lady was asked, "Hey mother, what makes you so compassionate to people?" You know what response this Mother Teresa gave? Mother Teresa simply raised her prayer beads and showed to the interviewer. She said that these are the prayer beads which makes me compassionate towards people. So Madhav Seva, what does it do is, it raises the consciousness of people. It gets you rid away from the feeling of greed. It brings you a sense of control of your senses within your consciousness. And that is why uh, Madhav Seva actually is the stepping stone to do the Manav Seva in the right spirit. So ultimately, if you connect people to God, if you connect people to spirituality, they feel purified, they feel compassionate within their heart, and they feel encouraged to do Manav Seva. And an example of Srila Prabhupada is also worth quoting here. Srila Prabhupada, once he was in Mayapur and he was observing from his balcony of his room that there were many poor children who were actually looking for some food in the garbage. So just one day before, there was a festival in Mayapur, and many devotees have eaten food and thrown the pattal as a garbage. And these poor children, where dogs were also there, they were looking for food in that garbage. When Srila Prabhupada saw that, he announced that within the 10-kilometer radius of the temple, no one should go hungry from this day onward. And then from that time, devotees started Food for Life program from ISKCON. And this Food for Life program is one of the biggest, largest food relief program in the world today, which offers millions of plates of prasadam free of charge to the people at large, in general. So the point I'm trying to make is Madhav Seva makes you feel compassionate, gives you control of your senses. You don't succumb to your base desires. And that is why, if you do proper Madhav Seva, ultimately you will come to the conclusion that I should extend my compassionate heart to others and do Manav Seva. So these are the two points. So we can say that Manav Seva and Madhav Seva as two circles, and they have their individual uh, uh, places where one is not interfering with the other, but the large portion of these two circles actually coincide together. These are intersecting together, they are very common. So there are many Madhav Sevaks who are compassionate at heart, and only because they are connected with the spiritual life, they are able to do proper Manav Seva. Now coming to the last part of my presentation, there is no need to reject Manav Seva. As devotees, what should we do? We should not reject Manav Seva completely, and there is neither a need to insist on Madhav Seva alone. But the point is, we should encourage people to do Manav Seva, those people who are doing Manav Seva alone, to do Madhav Seva, to make it much more holistic. And we should encourage doing people who are doing only Madhav Seva to extend their compassion to other living entities also. So that is, as devotees, we should follow. So this is some uh, explanation of the topic between Manav Seva and Madhav Seva. This is a very, very important topic, because most of the time, or many times, people look towards spiritual people as wasting their time. They're doing good for nothing. They're simply chanting, they're dancing, they are just doing deity worship, they are doing costly worship for the deities, and so on. And they don't understand the value and importance of these uh, cultural activities, or I would say spiritual activities like Madhav Seva, because all these activities make us compassionate toward others and prevents us and protects us from succumbing to our low desires like lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, and illusion. So that's the this case study. I hope that was useful. And now coming to the last part of our class, which is shloka memorization. So maybe some of the devotees may like to recite this very important shloka, which is about the austerity of speech. But before that, any comments on the presentation I just made short while ago on Manav Seva and Madhav Seva? Does that make sense?
It has certainly helped remove the cobweb and the mutual
Harmony.
confusion that we
Yeah.
have been having.
Correct. Okay. Thank you.
Give more clarity about few things,
Okay.
and becomes life easier to understand these two words and their interrelation.
Their interrelationship should be very clear. Manav Seva and
It
Madhav
should
Seva.
be.
So
That's right.
so there are no institution outside who can cure you from lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, and illusion. So there are no institutions outside.
मैं तो इधर जाता हूँ, आपने चला दिया ये.
Yeah. So okay, coming to the final section of our class, maybe some of the devotees may like to recite these words which is based on austerity of speech? Any volunteers?
I'll try.
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Prabhuji. Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyetam chayat swadhyaya abhyasanam chaiva vagmayam tapa uchyate.
Very nice, Prabhuji. Very nice. Any other devotees who would like to try?
Shall I recite, Prabhu?
Yes, Mangala Mataji, please.
Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam cha yat swadhyaya abhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tapa uchyate.
Wonderful. Very nice. Very nicely done. Very nice, Mataji.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yes.
Prabhu.
Yes. Any other devotee?
Anudvegam karam vakyam satyam priyahitam cha yat swadhyaya abhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tapa uchyate.
Vangmayam tapa uchyate. Wonderful. Okay. So what is the meaning of anudvega? Anudvega?
Without agitation, without
agitating. Yeah. Satyam is truthfulness. And then priya is pleasing. Hitam is beneficial. And swadhyaya abhyasanam is upheld or
study of
study of scriptures like Vedas. And vangmaya is
scriptures.
Vangmaya is speech.
Preaching.
That kind of
speech. Okay. And tapa is
austerity. It is called austerity.
So is called. Uchyate means is called. So not speaking anything which is agitating to others, which is truthful, which is pleasing, which is beneficial, and which is based on the chanting of the scriptures. Such a speech, such a vangmaya is the austerity of vangmaya, is the austerity of speech. So that is the purport of this. So the Sanskrit in Bhagavad Gita is very, very simple, and if you can understand the meanings and the word meanings of these words, you can remember these shlokas very, very easily. So anudvega karam vakyam satyam priya hitam chayat swadhyaya abhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tapa uchyate. And which meter is this? Which we have, I think, discussed on the meter also. Anushtup, Trishtup.
Anushtup, 8.
Yeah, this is Anushtup. So each of these sections of the verse is actually based on 8 matras. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we don't count the half letters. And then if you count this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We don't count ta here because ta is with halant. This is half here. We don't count ta. So another 8. And then va, ya, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So another set of 8. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, this will not be counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8. So this is Anushtup Chand.
32.
Anushtup Chand, total 32 letters. Anudvega karam vakyam satyam priya hitam chayat swadhyaya abhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tapa uchyate. I hope with this verse memorization, I would put the class to rest. I hope this was useful discussion. We were able to revise chapter number 16 and 17 and dive a little bit deeper on the aspect of Madhav Seva, Manav Seva, because that Madhav Seva, Manav Seva aspect is connected with this chapter in some way, because we discussed about worship in different modes. We discussed about charity in different modes. So that these two topics are actually connected with this Madhav Seva, Manav Seva topic. And I hope the discussion was useful for the understanding of the participants. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Hare
Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
माधव सेवा और मानव सेवा बहुत समझ आई, अब की हिंदी क्लास में भी समझाना सबको।
अच्छा माताजी, ओके।
हाँ, अभी भी जो समझ आ गई फिर भी हिंदी क्लास में फिर से
ओके माताजी, ओके, ठीक है।
मिलेगा। हाँ,
थैंक यू प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्ण।
More clarity has come.
सुनंदा
Thank you,
माताजी,
Prabhuji.
सुनंदा
Hare
माताजी,
Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. More clarity has come. I had missed a couple of classes, but today I have made it. I will have to go through it again and again for retention.
No worries, no worries. माधव सेवा मानव सेवा क्लियर हुआ आपको? आपका क्वेश्चन था ये भी पहले भी.
हाँ, क्लियर हुआ, क्लियर हुआ. Practically वो फॉलो करना थोड़ा मुश्किल है.
हाँ, वो spiritual life is all not that easy. Yes, correct. Yes.
Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, I want more explanation from Mana Seva and Madhav Seva, Prabhu.
Okay, Mataji, we can stay back. Okay, I can stop the recording maybe here. Yeah.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay.
Your